Good evening, and welcome to the St. Petersburg by Night podcasting network. Tonight, we present to you our Werewolf the Apocalypse Chronicle, Rage Across Tampa.
Welcome to another St. Pete by Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
In the heart of night, we rise from shadows, howling at the moon, igniting our battles, cleansing dire of an endless fight, until our final days we will fight. Face back, we stand united as one. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the grave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Everywhere we run, the wind is at our back. All the warm forces we will track. From the depths of the ocean to the clouds in the sky, vampires tremble as we learn to fight. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the grave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take a final stand. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Everywhere with the pack, let the night be our guide. In battles of honor, we shall never hide. Rock will never hide.
Good evening and welcome to the St. Pete by Night Entertainment Network, where we play St. Petersburg by Night, a massive multiplayer 5th edition World of Darkness chronicle set in the city of St. Petersburg, Florida. My name is Kent, also known as Michikent on all social media, and I am the lead storyteller of St. Pete by Night, and it's Tuesday. And you know what that means. It's time for Rage Across Tampa, our Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition chronicle set in the city of Tampa Bay, across that little body of water from St. Petersburg, where a pack of Garou have been attempting to reclaim the city of Tampa from those treacherous kindred. And they've been doing a pretty good job by all estimations. However, there are more than just kindred for them to contend with over in that city. And the threats have been literally springing up from the ground, and they have been having to battle with some new threats, even threats from within their own pack, and they will be having to deal with some of that tonight. But we'll get into that in just a little bit, because for the next 3 or so hours, we are going to be talking at you, much like a certain member of Congress has been talking at you for more than 24 hours. And they have been talking some very, very important bits of information, and we want to applaud them for their monumental efforts in what they did in setting a world record in doing so. So big, 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 big ups to that very, very important person. And we thank them for what they had to say and what they stood for. So you know who you are, and we know you're probably not going to hear this, but we would like to thank you anyway for what you had to say and what you stood for and what you did. So thank you, sir, for what you did overnight, this last night. That being said, I couldn't do this alone. It would take some pretty monumental players to make this story happen. So I'd like to introduce those players now. Players, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves, if you please?
Hi, everybody. I'm Champ, Champagne, Sausage, Stinky, whatever you want to call me, and I will be playing Aspen Weiss, Philodox of the Silverfigs.
Hi, everybody. I'm Noree, and I'll be playing Malicious Jester, the Galliard of the Black Furies.
Hi, everybody. I'm Walks, and I will be playing Lucas Shaw, the Ragabash of the Shadow Lords.
Hey everybody, my name's Preston. I play Jason, Dreams-In-Decay, Thorne, Theurge of the Bone Gnars.
Champ, I would address that reference, but instead I'll just start in the guest room. So, if you like what you've seen so far, I would suggest you go follow St. Pete by Night on all of that social media you see listed down below. And if you're interested in the world of darkness, if you're interested in learning about it, or if you're just interested in engaging with fellow members of the community who enjoy the world of darkness, you should join the St. Pete by Night community by joining at that Discord link you see down below, where you could join along with 200 other members of the World of Darkness community who share that little hobby that you have in common. You could talk with people who love Vampire the Masquerade or Hunter the Reckoning or Werewolf the Apocalypse or one of the seemingly countless other splats that make up the ever-growing World of Darkness. So come join us at St. Pete by Night. We would love, love, love to have you join our growing ranks of members. And who knows, maybe you'll find yourself at one of our many, many tables of players. We'd love, love, love to have you in our community. So come join us. So, on to our story. Players, over the past few weeks, a threat has been growing in Tampa, quite literally. And you have started to learn more and more about this threat. In fact, one of you has taken to learning firsthand about this threat as Lucas journeyed to Piney Point once again to try and discover firsthand what was going on with this threat, as it was discovered that there has been research happening at Piney Point and that the source of these strange and mysterious plants that have been growing throughout the area seems to have started at the greenhouse in Piney Point. These plants that have taken on mysterious properties and that seem to be poisoning the Umbra, quite literally, on the other side in the spiritual realm. When he journeyed to Piney Point, not only did he recognize some of the plants that had previously been described with the purple leaves and the irises, but he saw some new and different plants, these ones that seem to have tulip bulbs and these almost razor wire-esque bushes. There he encountered Vanessa, who made a very, very interesting pitch of sorts, saying that yes, she was indeed working with Pentex, but in a way was working against Pentex as well, because she was working to take down Pentex from within, to bring back the wild, to bring balance, or to perhaps even topple the overwhelming force that the Weaver has taken, the control that the Weaver has taken over the world. She also said that she might be able to help Lucas recover or find Hashigat. Meanwhile, Aspen and Jason attempted to coerce some Caern spirits into scouting out Piney Point when they coerced some Carrion Crow spirits by talking to them, a group of 3 spirits who they managed to make or strike a bargain with into seeking out or scouting out Piney Point. Whether they'll be able to find out more information than Lucas was already able to find out remains to be seen, but having eyes on the spiritual side is always a good thing. And who knows what kind of horrors lurk in the great beyond that goes unseen to the mortal eye. Meanwhile, there was a dam break of sorts in the relationship of Jester and Charles, as they finally admitted their feelings for one another after much debate and denial and holding back. They finally admitted their feelings and, well, consummated their relationship, so to speak. But Jester also told Charles how his presence has impacted Aspen and how his way of thinking has impacted Aspen. His way of behaving has impacted Aspen, and how it may have altered her way of behaving and thinking. How that might change things, and how he has changed since his time of being with the pack. Well, I think there's a discussion to be had. All this and more to be dealt with tonight. But our story begins with a phone call, as Lucas has reached out to Aspen to have a meeting after his interaction at Piney Point. Aspen, where would you have Lucas meet with you after having received this message from Lucas to meet? And Lucas, what kind of message would you send to Aspen trying to meet with her?
He would have texted her to say, hey, need to meet with you alone, somewhere private. Not the Cairn. Well, not at Lettuce Lake.
Aspen, at that point, would invite him over to the apartment.
Okay. So, Lucas, I assume you're heading there, straight there from Piney Point, or would you probably would have stopped to make the terrarium for the plant that you had received from Vanessa, which was a Venus flytrap, which you had been given as a gift. And so you decided to kind of jerry-rig a terrarium around this Venus flytrap using duct tape and whatever other materials you could get your hand on in a pinch to contain this particular plant, not knowing if it had been altered or messed with in any way. So making this container of sorts and putting it together, you head over towards Aspen and Artie's apartment, pulling into the parking lot before going up the flight of stairs to the second floor apartment and knocking on the door.
Aspen would answer the door.
Going into the apartment, you can see that it is cleaner than it's ever been. If you've ever visited this apartment before, it's always been a little bit... It's been clean, but it's always had a touch of mess when Artie was living there. There was always like, you know, a shirt draped across a chair, or, you know, a pair of shoes left kind of haphazardly near the desk. But everything is very, very, very clean. Probably cleaner than it ever needs to be. Sparklingly clean and arranged and straightened more than it's ever been before.
He'll look at her for a second and look down. Do I need to take off my boots?
No, not this time.
Okay. He's carrying a full face motorcycle helmet, and then something wrapped up in a towel that looks like it might be the size of like a 2-liter.
Come sit. Usually you don't ask me for meetings. It's usually the other way around. So it's a little concerning, but yeah, sit, make yourself comfortable. Do you want coffee?
No, I'm good. And he sets the two things down on the coffee table. You're gonna be upset.
Okay, so one of these conversations.
Yeah.
She's gonna walk into the kitchen, grab a mug, and sit down.
So we'll start with this, and he points at the thing that's wrapped up. I got a live sample. A live, sustaining, not crumbling away sample.
Of the plant.
Of one of the plants.
And you're sure is it strange? What's going on with it?
I'll show it to you, but for precautions, I'm gonna need you to put that helmet on. You and Jester described it as having eyes at some point. I did not see that on this one, but if it does have some sort of sensory thing, I don't want it to see your face.
Fine. She'll put on the helmet.
He'll wait for her to get it fully on, and then he'll take off the towel and show her the terrarium with the Venus flytrap in it.
Okay. So it looks like basically a 2-liter bottle has been taped around the base of a plant, a Venus flytrap, which is growing out of a small dirt pot. It would be indistinguishable from most other plants. There doesn't seem to be anything unusual, especially to any untrained eye, from any other plant. There's not even any strange coloring to it. It's green. Maybe there's a shade of yellow to it. But there's nothing unusual about this plant. It doesn't even move as it's unveiled.
Lucas, it's a plant. It's not like any of those other plants. It's just a plant. Where did you get it?
He'll put the cover back on it and kind of push it to the side of the coffee table and motion that she could take the helmet off now. From the source? Yeah, I went back.
First, what did you find out?
We are grossly outmaneuvered right now. She, the woman I spoke to, and I spoke to her again. Yeah, she's working for Pentex, but Pentex is not aware of what she's doing. She's working outside of the margins. I'm not really big on these business things, so I don't know exactly what that means, but they're not fully aware of what she's doing. When I got close to the facility, using the same route that I did before, I saw what you and Jester saw with the eyes. I saw those. They're everywhere around that place. There's no getting in without them seeing you. And I also saw new stuff. A tulip, it looked like, but it was huge. Like, I mean, road cone huge. And these bushes that were around the entire complex, I assume. I didn't make my way around the entire thing, but Aspen, all of it just stunk of the worm. I could smell it. I was right in the middle of it.
Did you get any samples of these plants? Did you get any indication of what these plants were for by this woman?
So the eye ones are pretty obvious. They're surveillance. I mean, they're all up high. They're viners, so they grow up. They choke out whatever they attach to, and then they just watch. The big tulip-looking thing, from what she gave me, from what she said, is they release some sort of antihistamine, some sort of anti-allergen. I think they're mainly in place to prevent people from reacting negatively to the plants, to keep people from being allergic to them. So they're more accepting of them being around. That's a theory. I could be totally wrong on that. Now, the bushes, they were right up against the wall, and I didn't get near those, but I can only assume that's some kind of security measure, that there's something in those things that prevents entry into an area. Because she saw me, of course, coming up, which I imagine she saw me through the plants. And so I went around through the main gate instead of leaping over those things. It's not something I was comfortable doing. And we talked. I asked questions. She gave some answers, but she's not like what I think we expected we were going to come up against.
And what did we expect, Lucas?
Same corporate Pentex bullshit.
She's not that.
She wants to turn the entire world green.
You could say green with corrupted plants.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious. But she's a real believer. She hates the Weaver. And so I think she's leveraging her connection to the worm and now shoving it into the wild. And that's complicated.
Anything else you've learned on your little excursion?
She knows about you guys, which, considering how connected that corporation is no big surprise. She knows about the other pack that's here. But from what you said, they were down here investigating the same thing. So its reach up wherever they came from down to here, that connection's pretty easy to make. She wants me to work for her.
And what did you say?
Well, typical duplicitous answer that I give all the time, right? I mean,
What are your intentions, Lucas?
you don't need to ask me that because I've never done
No,
anything.
no, I do. I have to ask you this. We've been through this how many times, and I've let you off how many times? You not telling me what did I say at our last pack meeting, Lucas?
Don't go off alone.
The one thing I asked you not to do, you went and did. The one thing. We had other avenues. We were all in agreement. If you had an issue with it, you could have brought it up then. But instead, you go off, you do your own thing, you find your own information, and you bring what you want when you want to us when you think it's relevant.
And has anything I brought been not relevant?
Could have been relevant a lot sooner if you would have said something a lot sooner, Lucas.
Well, we were kind of caught up fighting Bloody Mary, so it didn't seem like a priority at the time. And now it
Everything is a priority. It's
We don't-
always been a priority. We needed to know what we needed to know. We needed to know what we're getting into, but you decided it wasn't relevant. You didn't give us that opportunity. You decided on your own. Do you want to be pack leader, Lucas?
No,
Do you want to make
absolutely
the
not.
decisions for everyone all the time?
Who was I supposed to go with? Who? Who's got the skill set that I have? There was somebody, and they're gone. So what do I do? Sit in the corner and wait?
If that's what I ask you to do, you wait. All I did was say, don't go there until we got more information. But you decided that that was bullshit and you were going to do what you wanted to do because you're going to do what you want to do.
How much did I gain?
A bit of information. Some of what you said we already knew. And some of it we could have probably gotten because Jason and I went out and we got a spirit to go look into it. We were doing what we needed to do to get it done. But you decide what's important when you want to decide what's important. You sit here and you do what you'd like, and then we pick up the pieces afterwards. And I've always been in your corner, Lucas, because I understand we're not the same. And I've let you do your thing, and I've taken it with a grain of salt when you haven't told us things for, what, months? But you continue to do it. And I've tried to show that you could trust me, but you're not doing the same. I can't trust you as far as I could throw you anymore because all you do is go out, do what you want to do, and think you're doing what's best for the pack. And in the grand scheme of things, you're fucking all of us. Because now she knows that we're looking into it more than she did before. She could have had an inkling. We didn't know that, but we didn't want to give her a reason to know anything that we knew. Hence why we weren't going to go there. You talk about not trusting people. You talk about not trusting Matthias and that you were afraid Matthias was going to come in here and try and take things over from me. But you know what? He's giving me ample reason to trust him. You take that trust and you throw it in the trash. More times than I can count. How do I know you're not out there trying to take over this place by doing your underground stuff? It's the same thing you said about Matthias, but at least I could trust him.
Okay. What are you going to do then?
No, it's
I
valid.
have an opportunity to get information from the source. She trusts me. Maybe not as much as she should, but whether she does or doesn't, I have the opportunity to work against her there.
This is a ridiculous statement, Lucas. That's like saying, I want to know if the fire is hot, so I'm going to go into the fire and touch the coals.
At least I went there.
After I asked you not to.
And do what?
You're not getting the point. You think you're doing what is right whenever you think it's right. You don't talk to the pack. You do what you want to do, and then you bring it back, and we're supposed to sit here and say, oh, thank you, Lucas, for getting us the information, even though you went behind all of our backs on multiple occasions.
Do you think that you're going to be able to be a sept leader and not have people to do that for you? You're that blind. You don't think that another pack will come here because there's one, and then there'll be two, and there'll be three, and then we'll be a bigger sept, and somebody is not going to start putting knives at your back with nobody looking? Do you think you won't have to break a few eggs? Are you that deluded?
Knives at my back are different. We're supposed to be working together. I'm supposed to trust you so you can look out for me when there are knives at my back. And if I'm worried that you're the knife at my back every time I turn around, how do I trust that?
Yeah, because I've given you 100% of a reason to say that. From the day I set foot in this city, I fucking bled for this pack. I stood right next to you on that ship and I bled for this pack.
We've all
I stood
bled for
right
this.
next to you and sacrificed that Caern. Every fucking thing you've done I supported you on. And yeah, sometimes I have to go out and find shit out.
You have to. That's what needs to be done. And I'm not saying you can't. If you came up to me and said, hey, I have a pretty good reason as to why I want to do this, you're a ragabash. Why not ragabash me? If I say don't go there, give me a reason why you should. Don't just go behind my back and then come back and ask for forgiveness instead of permission. Because then you screw not just me, you screw Jester, you screw Jason, you screw what we're trying to do here because you don't know what would have happened. And if you fucked it up irreparably and we had to all figure out how to save your ass or save this place in spite of you, then we'd be screwed and we'd have no idea. We'd have to find out on our own.
But I haven't fucked it up, have I?
Who knows? You think that she would have known everything about us if you hadn't gone there in the first place?
She knew my name the day I met her.
And you've talked to her on several occasions.
3
and she
now.
could and she can follow you and she can figure out what we're doing and she could do all of that. Yeah, it could have been not because of you, but it could have been because of you. We have no idea. We don't know what we were getting into because you chose to do it on your own.
Yeah, somebody has to do these things.
Why? Why?
Because we're on our back feet the entire time. And I'm tired of it.
We're on
I
our
want
back
to
feet.
I need to get ahead of this thing. We need to get ahead of this thing.
We do, but it's not going to work if we're not communicating with each other. If we're all on different pages all the time.
You're the first one I came to.
After the fact, I don't understand how this is not getting through your thick skull, Lucas. After the fact. We don't know what could have happened. You've gotten lucky this time and a couple of times before that. What happens when you don't get lucky? What happens when you screw it so bad we all are dead and nothing here matters?
I won't.
Pretty arrogant thing coming from you. You're not even willing to tell us before you go do the thing. I'm
Willing
not
to
saying...
tell you.
Then you could at least tell me before. You waited until after. Again, just like Hashiga, you waited until after. You waited until the cards were stacked against you, and you had to tell us.
I didn't tell you because the cards were stacked against me, Aspen. I told you about Hashiga because I genuinely gave a fuck about what we were doing there, and I didn't want to endanger it.
So you waited until it needed to be set, when we could have known this whole time, and we could have been prepared.
Yeah, because the minute I set foot in the Cairn the first night there, oh, by the way, there's a worm spirit attached to me with fucking 30 kinfolk around me, a whole bunch of elders, and a bunch of guru I didn't know. Yeah, that was a great idea. That would have been such a smart move for me to do.
That's such a weak argument. We had plenty of time after that. You didn't have to do it the day we met you. You had plenty of time to tell us, and you didn't, until it
You're
was
right.
necessary.
You're right. You're right. I didn't want to get thrown out of another fucking Cairn. You're right. But yeah, and that decision single-handedly made me make all these mistakes that led to me to be a terrible person here. You're right. All the things that I've done here, you're absolutely right. They're all negated by the one thing that I didn't want to tell because I was scared I would get thrown out again.
I'm not going to let you deflect and manipulate me. We're not doing that here. You're not going to say, oh, I'm a terrible person. I never once said that. I said what you're doing is shitty.
I know I'm not a terrible person. I know what I'm doing is right. That's the difference. I have conviction in what I do.
Next time we have something to do, you're going with somebody. And if you go on your own again, we're going to have issues.
I mean, as long as they have the skill set and don't fuck it up.
We all have different skill sets, Lucas. You're not the paragon of getting information.
Sneak into a lot of compounds on your spare time, Aspen?
We have a rat.
Big ass Charles do that too?
We have a rat, Lucas.
Okay.
Do you know his skill set? Did you bother to ask before you went on your own?
Actually, he did tell me he wasn't really good at the sneaking in thing when we were doing scouting work on that house. So yes, I do know he's not good at that.
I can't trust you. So until I can, you're going with Jason on everything. And if I find out you went to Piney Point again, after I asked you not to again, it's not going to just be a conversation, Lucas.
You're gonna shame me for helping the pack and the sept? Cool.
Call it what you want. Justify it how you will. But if anybody else kept the information, you would have felt just as betrayed.
That's an assumption.
Well, you're making a lot of assumptions here too, so I figured I'd throw my hat in the ring.
Well, somebody's got to get out there and do the work.
With Jason.
See if you can keep up.
Throw that plant away.
I'm actually going to go do some work on it, see what I can find out. He'll pick it up, pick up
Better
the
yet,
helmet.
leave the plant here, Lucas.
For what?
I'm asking you, as your pack leader, to leave the plant here.
Do you know what a cordyceps is, Aspen? Do you know what the root structure of a Venus flytrap is? Do you know why it may be different and why it not may be different?
Leave the plant here.
He'll stand up and give a little bow, and pick up his helmet, and head towards the door.
Lucas, as you leave the apartment, walking down the stairs, what's going through your mind after this interaction with Aspen?
Lucas is concerned that there may be things that come that need to be done that we're not ready to do. That the biggest tragedy of war is forcing good people to do practical things. And we, all of us, may not be ready for that.
You get down to the base of the stairs, moving over to your motorcycle, putting on your helmet. You can feel the frustration and the anger rising in your gut. But you push it down as best as you can. All of your Ragabash energy and instinct, your moon just roiled up inside of you. But this isn't the place for that fight. You tried your best. But your pack leader has spoken. There will be other opportunities, other chances. Not here, not now. You spoke your piece. You said what you had to say. You get on the bike. You drive away. Aspen, as you remain in the apartment, the plant sitting on the table, what's going through your mind?
Very surface level. God, I hate fighting with Ragabash. They drive me insane. But deeper, I don't think that Lucas got the point of the anger. Like, I think he thinks that he's doing what's right, and the point was communication. So it was almost, she's leaving it a bit of a moot point of he's not understanding that it's about working together and not about what he can or can't do and his skill set. So she's left a little frustrated.
You have a regular check-in appointment with Charles this afternoon. So as you grab your things to prepare to head out to meet up with Charles at the cairn, are you going to take the plant with you, or are you going to leave it here?
I will probably take the plant with me just so I could have it in the car and not in the house.
Okay. As you're going down the stairs, you receive a text message on your phone. Pulling your phone out of your bag, you look at the phone, and it's a text message from Charles. And it says, "Do you trust me?"
She'll just text back, not giving me a reason to not to so far. So
You get a response. Okay. As you climb into the driver's seat of the car and you put the keys in the ignition, suddenly, from behind you, a hand comes from behind the driver's seat and covers your mouth with a cloth, and your consciousness fades. We transition now to our next scene. In the cairn, Jester, the last few days have been, well, a mixture of physical exertion, but also very freeing emotionally, physically, and, well, a lot of stress relief, so to speak. But also, it's been nice because all of that pent up energy, all of those unsaid words, all of those feelings, to finally have them realized, to finally have them felt fully. It's been nice, to say the least. It's been one thing that you haven't had to hold back. One thing you haven't had to wonder about. In a world where there's been so many questions and so few answers, this is something that you have an answer to. There isn't any will they, won't they. They will. They have. They do. He does. Now, there's also been work to be done, including loading the unconscious bodies of the other pack into a storage unit and taking them to a boat. But that's just business. Otherwise, it's been some nice time off. A nice break. But now it's time to get back to work. So as you get to the cairn with the thoughts of some new discoveries from your time spent with the other pack, learning that the trees hold stories, that they hold secrets, from having spent time with the Bone-Gnar Galliard, Rolee, you came to learn that she had an encounter with one of the trees where she witnessed the final moments of Aiden. She felt his final feelings, saw the last things he saw. What other secrets are locked behind the tall timbers that make up the cairn? Based off of the clear impact it had upon Rolee, you weren't sure you were ready to encounter something like this alone. So you reached out to your mentor, your second mother of sorts, Eliza, your spiritual guide, for assistance in this endeavor. And so, here on a warm afternoon, you and Eliza find yourself at the cairn, standing in front of one of the many, many trees that encircle the clearing of the cairn. Not Aiden's tree, because you're not sure you're ready to take that on, but one of the others. Eliza looks to you curiously. So this is what you want to do?
I want to test it. I mean, it worked on somebody who's not even bound to the Cairn.
I told you this place held a lot of power. It must have wanted her to see what she saw. You don't have to be bound to this place for it to teach you something. It wanted Rory to know sacrifice. It wanted her to know what she was up against. That this wasn't just a game. It wanted her to know that the threat was truly real. And I think, based off of the way she has behaved since, she got the message. And from
Good.
the looks of it, the others are about to get that message too.
Hmm. Yeah, let's see how that goes. Speaking of which, because I don't know what condition I'm going to be in afterwards, she did mention something about they had a spirit following them. I thought it might be possibly their pack patron. Think it's flame spirit, maybe? She indicated with a lighter, so I assume it's not a lighter spirit, probably a flame spirit. Calls its name, they called it Ember. I was wondering if you could look into it. I don't want them repeating the same mistakes we did of not knowing enough, and don't want them to end up getting bound in something, or bound to something that they ends up being more trouble for them.
Sure. Of course, I'd be happy to. I need to make sure that Charles, of course, signs off on it first, but once he does, and if they do well on their examination, I'm sure he'd be fine with me looking into such things. But a flame spirit, that is curious. They tend to be very mysterious and occasionally very chaotic and can be quite temperamental, but from what I've seen of the makeup of this particular pack, it's also quite fitting for them.
Perfect for them, honestly.
Indeed. Although, well, I'd have to see for myself. I don't want to make any assumptions without a little bit more insight into this particular spirit.
I told them I'd talk to you about getting the right to them, but I'd like you to look into them first, or look into it first before they get the right, and,
Oh,
turns out to
certainly.
be, some weird bane or something that's following them.
Well, I had a nice conversation with their theurge, Delphine, and she's a troubled young woman, but she has a good head on her shoulders, and I think she wants what's best, and she's clearly got a desire to learn, and I think she wants to learn well and correctly. She was not educated the right way, but she has her own demons, and if not guided through this process, she is ripe for a Bane's pickings. A ritual like this opens one up to many, many things. The rite of patronage is like opening a door, and if you do not if you aren't guarded against what walks through that door, anything could make its way in. But I will be there, and I will see just what this ember is before allowing it that opportunity. So, I will tell you that I have been spending a great deal of time amongst these trees. And yes, I have seen some of the stories that they contain. And there are a great deal of emotions within. I have not focused on the individual stories as much as the overall message, as the overall history. But I can tell you that you are not going to be harmed by what they contain. You will not experience any true physical pain. You may feel some emotional duress at times, as it is the true Guru experience. You may feel heartbreak, but you may feel triumph as well. You will feel loss, but you will feel victory. It is a lifetime contained within bark and timber, leaf and earth. Just like we are bound, they too were bound to this place. It's extraordinary, really. But it's a lifetime completely alien to us, because they found themselves centuries ago, and no one has tended to this place since. So what you see, what you witness, might be something you might have only caught glimpse of in history books or read about or watched in movies. And even then, it's barely the truth. So be prepared for something very unfamiliar.
So emotions like I experienced with writer's memories, but still very different.
Very much so. It was a completely different world then.
Okay. I'm interested in finding out about it.
I will be here.
Okay. I trust you to catch me.
Every time. Let's start with a pleasant one. Something simple, gentle. I think that she guides you over to one tree. I think this will do quite nicely. She takes your hand into hers, putting it between both of her hands before moving it over to the tree. And she places it against a section of smooth bark. This was the tree of a theurge like myself. And as she presses your hand against it, you feel a warmth start to wash over you. And your vision starts to fade into darkness. Roll me a composure and resolve.
3 successes.
Okay. So with 3 successes, you can at any time choose to pull back from this vision if you choose.
Okay.
But as you fade in to the darkness, after a few moments, it's replaced by a warm, dull glow. And that glow emanates from a pinprick that starts to grow outwards. And soon afterwards, you find that you are sitting by a campfire. And the campfire looks familiar in the surroundings because the campfire itself seems to be placed in the center of the very clearing that you find yourself in this very woodlands. The trees around you are extremely different. In fact, the grounds around you are different. The world around you is different. Even the temperature of the air feels cooler. Nearby, you can hear the sounds of drums beating off in the distance. You can hear voices speaking in a language that you don't quite understand, but also simultaneously you do understand. It's a weird kind of contradiction in your mind. Because you, as Jester, don't understand what you're hearing. But you, as speaks with shadows, the Croatan Theurge, do understand. You, as you sit here, holding your child in your lap, the young toddler who is probably going to grow to be a mighty Arun one day of your tribe. You watch the fire and you watch the shadows nearby. You listen to the sounds of the drums beating. You listen to the chanting of your fellow Croatan, but you don't know them by that name. At least Jester doesn't. You just know them as your kin, your tribe. You know that a gathering is coming. The brothers are coming. You know, with your child in your lap, that they are the last. The shadows told you so. They are the last to be born to your tribe. But you can't tell anyone else. You can't tell anyone else that the brothers that are coming to this great gathering are coming because it is a war council. It is a war council coming to meet, to march against a great threat. A war council coming to march against the Eater of Souls. And in this march, your people will end. Your son, your child, will be the last. They will live, but they will bear no children. There will be no more turtles born after this sacrifice. It's bittersweet. You hold your child close. You kiss them atop their head in the way only a mother can. There's something beautiful about knowing when the end is coming, because you can appreciate all of the moments you have left. And besides, there's always the trees. You have forever. You know that your people build the greatest cairns, the strongest cairns. And even if a sacrifice must be made, your people will live on. It's never truly goodbye. Not for you. It's just good night. And that's where the vision ends, going back into darkness.
She knew what was going to happen.
Yes. But there's something beautiful in that, isn't there?
Was there no option for choice? Is everything written already?
There's always an option for choice. But the choice could have meant disaster for many, many more. They could have chosen not to sacrifice themselves. But what they released onto the world could have meant the deaths of many, many others. Nothing is written. We always have choice, Jester. But are we willing to live with the consequences of that choice? Aiden had a choice, too.
Why didn't he tell us?
Would you have allowed him to make that choice?
I don't know. Maybe we could figure something out.
I think you know you couldn't have. Aspen would never have allowed it. Look at her now. Imagine what she would have been like those weeks before, had she known. She would not have been able to enjoy her last few weeks with him.
She would have tried to do something insane.
And probably gotten all of you killed.
Yeah.
Instead, she got the final days with her best friend. Memories that will stick with her when she has the eyes to see it again, when she has the heart to feel it again.
She's getting a little better, I think.
You have to get worse before you can get better. Just like you, it seems. Speaking of which, where you been those last few days? Haven't seen you around here.
Busy with other things?
Yeah, I can smell it.
Hmm.
I'm happy for you.
Thanks.
Are you happy?
More happy than I've been in a long while.
You deserve to be happy. She was happy. Eliza gestures to the tree.
She was.
Even knowing the end was coming.
Yeah.
It's easy to look at what we are, what lies ahead, as damnation. It's easy to look at this life as a punishment. It's not. It's a blessing. Because just like her, we know how it ends. Maybe not exactly when. We don't necessarily get that gift. But it makes every day up until then that much sweeter, that much more precious.
I'll pull her into a hug. Yeah, it does.
Don't make the mistake I made. I wasted 10 years forgetting that.
It's hard to pull yourself out when you're alone.
Well,
And
you're
you were
not
alone.
alone anymore.
Neither are you.
No, I'm not. And I will never forget that. And it's your job to make sure none of the others forget that either. Especially The newer ones.
Yeah, I know.
I don't just mean the newest ones.
You mean all the new ones that come?
Yeah. Even those that are considered old at this point. Everyone came from somewhere. Everyone was ripped from a home, from a life. Everyone has a past. Some were pulled more recently than others. Make them feel at home here.
I'll try.
I know you will. I'm not saying you're not going to feel sad. I'm not saying you're not going to feel angry. I'm not saying you're not going to feel all of the emotions. It's part of the experience of life. It's part of what makes it so wonderful. But I wanted to start with this story for a reason. Because I think this one, well, I think you needed this one.
Trying to help me heal.
Trying to help you see that knowing how it ends doesn't always have to be a bad thing. Doesn't have to be a sad thing.
Let you know the time you have.
And lets you know that you can still have hope within that time.
I mean, I guess there's something comforting in that.
There are more stories to be told, but I want you to sit with this one for a while. Really consider her story. Consider what she must have had to deal with in this knowledge. You saw the end of the story. Acceptance. But there must have been a great deal more. Aspen is going through her own journey too. And she's not quite at the end yet either. But you're helping her get there.
I'm trying.
You're doing a wonderful job.
Thanks.
I'm glad you're happy.
I'm glad I'm happy too.
Well, shall we get back to the garden?
Yeah. Also, do you have any of that sweet tea?
Always. It's the only way to bear the heat out here.
Excellent. I'm kind of thirsty.
She takes your hand in hers again, and the two of you walk across the clearing. You can't help but look back over your shoulder towards that tree. And as you look back, it feels like the tree is looking back at you as you walk away. And it's not watching you in any kind of malice. Instead, it's just watching over you as you walk away. You feel that same motherly gaze upon you as if you were the child sitting upon her lap. It's a strange sensation, like that connection that you made with her still lingers, still remains. We transition now to our next scene. Jace, you've had a lot going on in your mind. Not only did you work with Aspen to call on some carrion spirits to go spy on Piney Point, but you had a rather disturbing and, well, mind-bending dream where you met an entity known as the Guide, a spirit or a figure of a wolf that was decayed, rotten, skeletal, that took you through a journey where you saw three spirits confront a rather terrible entity. The spirits of a turtle, a horned serpent, and a icy wolf made of wind. You saw the turtle sacrifice itself to banish this plague. This event from long ago sticks with you in your mind as you have finished building your bar. A lot of questions still lingering as you saw that the turtle seems to be awakening once again. But you're not sure where. You're not sure how far away. But something inside you wants to find it, wants to learn more. So as you're stocking the bar, preparing to open for the evening, you hear a skittering across the bar top.
Recognizing the skittering pattern, will reach down and grab the keystone, just kind of slide it down. Nice to hear you still climbing around here. What can I do for you, buddy?
You hear the top pop off of the keystone. So you saw it, huh?
Saw it, felt it, little scared of it. Yeah.
It's nothing to be scared of.
I don't know, Rat. Like that whole experience was. I've had experience with decay, but nothing quite like that.
Why don't you take me through it?
Well, it starts like it normally does. I come into a place of rot and malice. This time I was back in the rat's nest. The dream started off with it being in disarray, which upset me a little bit at first, but remembering that It's a dream. But there was a wolf sitting on top of a table there, um, marred with scars, bones along one side of his face. Spoke to me, called himself the guide, told me had something to show me. So went out there to follow, went out the door and ended up in this large open plain. Nowhere I've experienced before. Um, it wasn't like an actual like plain of anything like farmland or anything. It was just grassland, empty. Uh, Off in the distance, a storm rolls through. Um, Lightning strikes, thunder cracking, a horned serpent, a tortoise, and a wolf show up to the storm. The wolf wanting to go forward, but the horned serpent kept holding it back, telling it no. The tortoise went out to confront it and ended up being consumed by it. And eventually some form of peace fell over, except between the serpent and the wolf. The wolf was upset at the serpent for not letting it go and help, and the serpent had almost like mixed emotions going on. But now there's the tortoise, after sacrifice, after years and years of being gone, the something's awakening after the Caern.
Yeah. Well, maybe I can connect some of the dots for you on that one. First off,
Yeah.
turtle, not tortoise. You call it tortoise to its face, it's probably going to be, well, it's not going to say much. That one's not the violent type, but you don't want to be rude. But
Okay.
I'm going to tell it to you from our point of view.
Okay.
We're not, well, our tribe, we're not from this neighborhood originally. We came over. We came over from Europe in those days. Those three that you're talking about, the horned serpent, the turtle, and the wind wolf. Those were what we call the American brothers, the three brothers. You might know two of them. Gale Stalkers and the Ghost Council. They used to go by other names, but we don't call them that anymore. It's a thing. We're not going to get into it.
Understood.
Rebranding. But some say when we crossed over, when we explored, we brought something bad with us. At least that's what they thought. They think we brought the worm. It was a whole big fight we had back in the day. We're over it now.
All right.
But just like there were three of them, once upon a time, the worm was broken into three pieces, like three heads of a hydra. Now, those 3 heads went into 3 different parts of the world. One to the Americas, one to Europe, and one, well, kind of slithered its way all over the place. The Defiler. You witnessed history of a sort in the cryptic way you spirit speakers do. What you woke up, or what they woke up, is giving you visions. Whatever this guide is, it's letting you see things that most have forgotten about. Old dead stories forgotten to time. Hell, I haven't thought about Turtle in... well, it's been a long time.
So you didn't know that this was going to happen?
No. But it's exciting, isn't it?
This, it's a big juicy secret.
Yeah. Kind of want to know more.
I do. Eliza, she's the one who kind of turned me onto it. She had a dream also. Not like mine. No one really has dreams like I do. But she saw something similar.
Yeah, she probably saw the Disney version of what you see. You're more like the Quentin Tarantino version.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But the turtle awakening. From what I did ask the guide if one awakens as the other. He said no. As of right now, it's turtle. My purpose of being here was because the spirits were upset. They're on edge with each other and the guru here. Is it possible that this was a bigger calling that was even beyond your foresight?
Maybe. Something happened when they did what they did. Well, a lot of things happened. They called down a great storm, brought hell to earth, ravaged an entire Caern and wiped it from existence, destroyed an elder spirit, pissed off an entire region. And then they turn around and wake something up. Like an elder god, like Cthulhu from the deep. But this is different. Unlike anything I've ever seen before. Something old, something ancient. Now, whether it's bad or good remains to be seen. But it's calling out to long forgotten memories. And if Turtle is indeed stirring, maybe it means the tides are turning. If you've found, or if they've found, one of Turtle's forgotten cairns, if they've reawakened a lost place, This could mean hope for a hopeless fight. Let me tell you something about Turtle. Turtle had a way with not just the Guru, but with others of the shifting variety. What you or they woke up might just call to some others. You might get some very, very strange visitors in the next few months.
Any preparations I should do to. Do I need to be worried about these visitors?
Well, you're in Gator country. I'd learn a lot about them.
I will inquire with the spirits of the area. A rat playing with gators. Fun.
No sudden movements.
I'll do what I can. I'll do my best. With the current standing on this, would you suggest me letting the Sept know what's going on, or hold this close to chest until more information breaks free?
That's a really good question. Tell them about the dream. Tell them about what you saw about Turtle waking up. I can't say for sure about the were creatures. I can't say for sure about anything else. I just know about history. I know about the past. Can't say that anything of that's gonna happen. Most of those old creatures are long gone. But if what's old is new again, you might see some strange new things popping up in the area. Something woke up. And I expect a lot of new things to be waking up along with it. Good and bad.
Can't really have one without the other.
It's the balance.
Okay. I'll give what information I can. Eliza's counsel has been helpful. I plan to do a walk with her in the Umbra to see if we can find anything further.
Say what you will about the nation. Yeah, they shit on stargazers, but they have their uses. And their knowledge, well, it has value. I'm not into the politics of things. Secrets are secrets, regardless of what banner you wave.
They all weigh the same in currency. All right. We'll continue talking with her. I'll keep those other things close to chest.
You know what's best. You've always been good at revealing what needs to be revealed and knowing what's relevant.
Inquiry on something. off topic but on topic.
Sure.
Gonna pull out his journal and draw from memory the best he can the symbols he saw on Moses' staff. Do you know anything about these? He'll point to them.
Rat tips back the bottle and takes a big swig from it before setting it down and crawling over towards the journal. He crawls across the page, studying the symbols. His nose twitches a little bit. Huh. That's strange.
Strange good, strange bad, or kind of in the middle?
Yes.
Awesome.
Not sure how to describe it.
You're pretty articulate. I'm sure you can make it work.
Yeah, and this even has me confused. So what does that tell you?
Might be beyond my overall understanding then.
Um, Imagine if Queen Mab fucked Gandalf.
So, interesting image you paint there, but okay, got it.
Yeah. I told you it was confusing. What do you want me to say?
All right. The symbols were on a staff. This guy that I met, one of the first people that I came across that I actually interacted with upon coming here. Moses is his name. He's at a park often. He cleans up litter. He gives me some information that kind of oversee about the place. But he's got these carvings all across this staff, like all over. But these two stood out a little bit more when he let me look upon it.
Huh. Okay. Well, can tell you that one is a barrier of sorts. It's like a shield.
Okay.
Blocks spiritual interference. There's been some walkers that have ventured into the Umbra before that have had similar symbols like that. Not Guru. Humans, well, kinda.
Back up a little bit. Humans are going into the Umbra. Like, just... Okay.
So sometimes. Leeches go into the Umbra sometimes. It's rare, but it happens.
God, they fucking suck. Can we have nothing?
Wouldn't that be nice?
Okay. As far as this guy, Moses, keep digging on him, see what breaks.
I'd be careful. If if he has access to this kind of stuff, he probably knows more about you than you think. If he's playing nice, it's probably a curiosity, a fascination.
All right. I'll be cautious about him. Maybe I'll observe him without actually talking to him for a little bit, see what goes on.
You start to act strange, that's also,
I'll try to maintain appearance, but just keep a closer eye on him.
You're in a weird place. I like it.
You're the one who fucking sent me here.
Yeah.
I told you I didn't really want to come here.
Well, you gotta go where the action is.
Yeah, and there's plenty of it here. Things are constantly breaking or on fire or on the verge of.
Oh, was getting a little too chummy up there. He'll go back.
Yeah. Things are easier up there, but there's a sept and a lot of Guru, so makes it.
You were gonna get bored eventually, anyway.
Not with you giving me those dumb tasks. Hey, there's this spirit needs this, this, and this. Like, you were keeping me busy.
Yeah, but this is fascinating. Turtles and symbols and yes, this is exciting. You see his tail flick a little bit and his nose twitch. Anyway, you're about to open and this place is gonna be crawling with humans, so I'm gonna beat it, but thanks for the beer.
All right, yeah, of course. He'll go like a little tiny fist bump for him.
Pops up on his hind legs and pops you a fist bump. You take it easy. Be careful out there.
All right, you too. Don't cause too much trouble.
Yeah. He hops down onto a stool and then crawls down to the floor before skittering off underneath the bar. What's going through Jason's head after that interaction with Rat?
A lot. The fact that the brothers being these other tribes, and they were here originally. They had been here for a long time. Rat's aware of them, but had not even thought about them for a very, very long time. And he's confirming what he had seen in his dream even further. And hearing it from his, one thing to see it in his dreams and hear it from this guy, this entity he'd never even interacted with before, but hearing it from his patron and confirming everything that he's heard helps with the suspicions that this could just be a warning, but these are actual signs of what's going on. On the other side of his excitement, he has a little bit of worrisome as far as Moses and these symbols. What does it mean further than this? Like, this guy that he was interested in almost upon appearance alone, and then interacting with him, had gone and gained, I wouldn't say friendship, but a very close to. And there's something that Rat almost puts a caution to it. So he's teeter-tottering on how he feels about Moses.
A lot of strange things are happening in the city of Tampa. And while strange can sometimes mean bad, strange can also mean interesting. And interesting always breeds secrets. And secrets are like catnip to bone gnars. We'll be back with the second half of tonight's story in just a few minutes. See you shortly.
St. Petersburg by Night is brought to you through collaboration with our partnered vendors, Wolfpack Dice, Ember Fox Dice, Dragon Ink Dice, Barra the Bard, Champs Tramps, Panchi Artista, and Chromatic Creations. Links to our partnered vendors, as well as our Twitch and YouTube channels, can be found on our website, stpetebynight.com. The official theme song for St. Petersburg by Night is Vampire by Faith and Failure. You can find them at faithandfailure.com. You can follow SPbN on all socials with the hashtag StPeteByNight. If you wish to support our program, you can do so at ko-fi.com/stpbynight to help keep the stories rolling.
Welcome back. In the first half, we saw Lucas check in with Aspen about what he found at Piney Point, only to find her reaction to be less than favorable to the information she received, where he got a bit of a tongue lashing from his pack leader and strict instructions that if he was to go out on his own again, he would get in a lot of trouble. He would have to take Jason on any further excursions in the future. So now, Lucas, you've returned back to the cairn, frustrated at the current state of things, not sure the pack knows the trouble that lies ahead, and feeling that they are hamstringing their efforts moving forward. As you arrive at the cairn, the weather has started to take a turn for the worse. Storm clouds roll overhead, and it hasn't quite started to rain yet, but you can hear off in the distance the rolling sound of thunder. What are you doing?
Lucas will go to an open sky portion of the cairn, kind of away from where he's been working or where anybody else goes, and he'll take out his clave and attach the long portion of it and stick it in the ground like he did last time, and he'll sit down on his legs.
Why the long face, Lucas?
I don't think I'm any good at this. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. I'm trying to warn them. I'm trying to show them we can't do things the same way we always do things. But I don't feel like anybody's listening to me. So it makes me feel like I'm the one that's wrong.
They're listening, Lucas. You're repeating yourself. You're saying what doesn't need to be said. They hear you. They've heard you. Now you need to say something different. They see the storm. Now they need umbrellas.
When is it too late?
You are trying to cut the head off the snake. Yes?
More or less.
You are forgetting that the damage is already done all over the city. Going to the source doesn't stop all the damage that already has been done. Stopping the seeds that have already been planted from growing. You have knowledge that they need. You can assist. You can lead. You are trying to do too much.
I used to have help. And it's not like I don't feel like I don't have help now, but I used to have somebody I could go out with and do these things with. And I don't anymore. And that's why I have to go out and do them, because he asked me to. And if I don't do it, nobody will.
He didn't ask you to sacrifice yourself. He didn't ask you to put everyone at risk. He didn't ask you to disobey. Yes, we as Shadow Lords see between the lines. We walk between dark and light. But we must not be the creators of dark. We must walk where dark already exists. You have been creating dark, Lucas.
There's so much we don't know.
You can't find it elsewhere?
I suppose we can. But if I could just get it from the source.
I see your reasoning. I do. You won't be able to convince them like this. You did the right thing by telling her.
It's the first thing I wanted to do. Immediately was tell her.
And it was the right thing. It was the wrong time to do it.
I think I may have burned too many bridges there.
Then rebuild them. You are a craftsman.
I'll look over at the pile. Kinda.
If a wolf can build a swing, a man can build a bridge.
Yeah. Yeah. You're probably right. Maybe you're right. this thing that's happening. It's using what we love against us.
Yes.
And if we fight it like humans fight it, then we're no different than it. Can't burn it. Can't spray chemicals on it. I know how to kill a lot of things, but I don't know how to kill this. That's what scares me the most.
Then don't try to do it alone. You have others. Brainstorm. Maybe they have ideas that you don't.
Yeah.
I know you're used to being alone. I know that's what you were taught. That's what you were forced to do. I wish I had been there to teach you different.
Just want to fight everything right now. But I didn't used to feel this way, and I don't know why I feel this way now, but I just want to fight everything. I want to fight it, I want to fight them, everything.
Because you finally lost things you care about. You've experienced loss, true loss. And you're angry about it. And you should be. But if you let this anger consume you, you will continue to make mistakes.
Treat me like Aiden was the only one I lost. They don't get it.
Show them. Tell them. They don't know. Maybe it's time, Lucas, to step out of the shadows.
Oh my god, if you're wrong about this, I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna come up there, I'm gonna fight you.
If I'm wrong, then I deserve it.
Yeah.
But I'm not wrong. Shadow Lords work best when they can stand in the shadows of those they trust and those that trust them. Right now, you do not have those shadows to trust. And those shadows don't trust you. So you are standing exposed.
Okay. We'll try it your way.
What do you have to lose that you haven't already lost?
I mean, even if they kick me out, they're still going to have to deal with me forever. So at least I have that to hold over their heads. They can be mad at me all they want to, but, you know, they're still going to have to listen to my ass forever.
The tides are changing, Lucas. I have felt it. You do not want to be gone from this place.
Is there something coming?
Yes.
Something
What you did changed things. Not just bringing me to you.
Here at the cairn.
Yes.
Okay.
Speak with the rat.
It's probably the only one I haven't burned a bridge with because I haven't had a chance to, so that should be easier than the others. Was there anything else?
Forgive yourself. You did everything you could with the information you had, with what you were taught. Now it's time to learn something new. Forgive yourself so that they can forgive you.
Okay. I'll try.
You'll do.
I'll do. Fine.
The storm unnaturally passes, like a sun shower that only Florida is known for, those 15-minute rainstorms that just pass overhead, barely soaking the ground. The clouds pass away, allowing sun to shine in. Lucas, what are you feeling as you feel the presence of your patron pass by, leaving you with these feelings, these thoughts, and these words echoing in your mind?
All Lucas can think about is that he still has a lot to learn. That this solo operator, this quiet protector mentality that he thought he was going to be is not going where it should be going. That maybe it's time to just put the ragabash away for a little while and just be quiet and wait and listen.
Taking a deep breath, steadying the emotions inside, looking over towards the ruin of a project that you've been working on these past few days. It's time to start again. Not just on the project, but what the project stands for. Rebuilding relationships, rebuilding trust. It is an eternity that you're going to spend with these people. Do you really want it to be miserable? Do you really want it to be an eternity of distrust? Maybe not. Maybe it's time to build something new. We transition now to a park across town. Jason and Jester, in an effort to track down these plants, you start out by going to a park with plans to go visit the bikers later in the evening to pick up some hardware for Jason, since he's been wanting to get a little bit more useful in the fights, and he's learned that firearms might be a good way to do so. But first, you're going to study or try to remove another sighting of a plant that you read about on one of the forums, Jester. So heading out to a community center near the university, where supposedly on one of the forums, one of these plants had been spotted. You pull up into the parking lot of this community center where there's a walking trail that heads into a small woodland. Now, the forum said that they spotted a strange looking plant that looks kind of like a weird bulbous tulip shape buried deep within the woodlands, kind of grown in a slight marsh within the forest off this walking trail. So as you both arrive on your separate motorcycles, pulling into the parking lot of this community center, the community center is a kind of a large rectangular cement building. The scene is yours.
Jace will walk over to her, take his helmet off because he is a safe motorcycle operator. He looks a little more worse wear, tired, long night at the bar, but like, you know, my ride's good, but I might need to upgrade. Like, I like this one.
Jester will pull off her helmet. Instead of like shorts or anything, she's dressed in overalls and a pair of boots that the overalls are tucked into, as well as like a flannel shirt underneath and gardening gloves. It was a sort of inheritance, I guess. Ryder, he used to be with the bikers. He was the previous SEP leader. It was his.
So you probably wouldn't want to trade or let me buy it.
No.
All right. Okay. I just want
But
to put it out there.
I'm sure we can talk to the bikers about getting you as one.
It's more of an additional one. One that I would do for our stuff and one that I do for more private stuff. Just multiple vehicles, harder to track down and trace.
Okay, well, we can talk to them when we see them later.
Yeah. Thanks again for getting that set up.
No worries. Question.
Yeah.
I've been iffy on this, so do you want me to call you Jace, Jason, Dreams? What do you want me to call you?
As I stated prior, my friends call me Jace. You and I have done a few things here and there together. I'd be okay with you calling me Jace, but you can call me whatever you want.
Jace it is then.
All right. I appreciate it. Do you know where we're headed? I didn't look at the thing. You told me, I was like, yeah, let's do it.
So I'll pull up my phone, check the notes I took from the forums. Yeah, got a good idea.
So this particular community center, there is only a very small woodland. Most of this area is just neighborhood. Like surrounding the entire area is homes and neighborhoods. The University of South Florida is only a few blocks from here. This little woodland is just surrounded by a walking trail, and the walking trail goes through the woodland at one point. It's very obvious where you're going to be headed based off of the description on the forum. You just have to follow the walking path and you're going to walk into the woodland. So you just have to basically have a lookout when you're in the woodland off the walking path. It's very hard to miss.
This looks like this is one of the easy ones. Walking path and everything.
All right, I like it. I can follow a path.
Yeah. I'll reach in the storage and pull out a little tool belt with various things for like cleaning up the environment, like trash bags and things like that, as well as like a spray bottle with the mixture that Lucas has suggested.
Boy Scout. I like it.
I've been spending a lot of time cleaning up parks the last few months. It's been helpful. Multiple things, emotionally, the environment, spirits.
Yeah, the fucking spirits here. Nothing against them, but they drive a hard bargain. They are very fickle and will not do things without some form of collateral.
Yeah, they kind of have a reason to be. We messed up. We
Yep.
didn't know better, but we should have. We messed up.
Yeah, you guys play with things you don't understand, and at that point he'll start walking.
Well, that's why you're here now. We can now understand some things.
Yeah, and then some. New information has has shined bright light on current darkness that has been this place. That wonderful place we call home has more going on with it than most of you probably know.
Does this have anything to do with what Eliza's been looking into?
It does heavily.
Look around, move closer. Eater of souls.
Very perplexed and shocked. Yeah. How? Did she tell you?
A tree told me.
Oh, okay.
One of the new kids, the new pack that's in here, she touched one of the trees and got a memory of something. And so I tested it out on a different one and got someone else's memory from a long time ago.
Okay. So the
It's not,
trees hold the historical records? Like they
they
tell
hold the memories of the people who used to be part of that Caern,
that's
which
actually helpful. Wow.
apparently their tribe were Cairn builders.
Okay.
So I guess there was more than one Cairn, but this one looks like one of theirs. Might be why it's supposedly the powerhouse that it is.
Yeah. I have to make sure I get all this information up, but I'll let you know as I'm sure you can tell it more delicately than I can. But when you guys went and did the destroying of an elder and then went to the new place, you killed one, but then you awoken something else. Something old. Very, very old.
Please don't tell me it's the Eater of Souls, because I don't think we can take one more thing right now.
From what I know so far, I can't confirm what that a worry that I have as well. I don't think so. I'm worried about a balance, though. If one side of a coin is flipped and shown, usually the other side is being revealed on another. I'm concerned about that. But from what I can tell, the thing that is being woken up or in the process of it is a lost patron.
You mean the one from this tribe?
Maybe
Maybe.
I'm not sure. Eliza told me about what was going on. She told me about a dream that she had. She had these little figures set out. She talked to me about the different things that she had seen. Her telling me brought me into the same light that she had been in. But like I said about light and dark, she might see things on the light side. My perception of things come from a darker nature, hence the name. I witnessed the turtle that I have been corrected on. Don't call it a tortoise. Apparently, that's a no. They'll get very upset. But the turtle went and sacrificed itself to protect their brothers. Now, upon that sacrifice, it was done. It was gone. And there was this big storm, this big nastiness that came by. And one of the brothers, which I've come to be told is the Gale Stalkers, and the other one be the Horned Serpent, which is for the Ghost Council. The Gale Stalker one wanted to intervene, wanted to help. Ghost Council said no. Turtle went out, sacrificed itself, pushed it all away. When that Caern was done, when that rite was performed, there was something else underneath that woke it back up. I have an idea on where. It's hard to say. Just the Umbra itself is vast. Just because I know where something is here doesn't
Make
mean
it the same.
exactly. Once I step over, I could be miles from that actual place. I gotta talk to Eliza a little bit more about it. I obviously have to inform Aspen and Lucas about what's going on.
Mhm.
Oh, I have to talk to Charles and tell him.
You know, you could tell them all together. It doesn't have to be separately. Like,
I
it's
don't
what
know.
we have pack meetings for.
Yeah, but these meetings are like, I don't know, they just kind of happen. I figured if Silver Fang would be like, all right, on the third Saturday of every new moon, we're gonna have our meeting. That's what I figured it would be when I heard that Silver Fangs are gonna be doing their shit. It's not like that. It's hey, meeting now, boardroom. It's like I'm taking a piss. No, now. It's not what
Well,
I'm used to.
you find when you get to Tampa, nothing is what you're used to.
Ain't that the truth? Oh my god. I was warned briefly, but it was a pale reflection of what happened when I actually got here.
I don't think she sets up scheduled pack meetings because, well, honestly, there may be times when we need to talk immediately, or, there may be nothing to talk about, and she's better at utilizing time for things that need to be done rather than just structure and tradition. Don't might get me wrong, she likes structure and tradition a little bit, but
Just a little.
she's also views necessity over tradition.
She's drastically different one-on-one than in those meetings. Drastically. Not what I was expecting.
She's going through things. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Aren't you all going through things?
Yeah, And it's a constant process of going through things, but she's dealing with. She took Aiden's death harder than any of us. And whereas a lot of us are going through the process of healing over it, she's taking a lot longer to do so. And it's affecting her.
I knew of the loss of the Arun of Aiden when coming down here. So I've been trying to be as cordial as I can with her. Though she keeps cracking jokes like she does when we're by ourselves, I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep my tongue at bay.
Mm.
So hopefully she
I
heals sooner than later. Because I might say something.
she might laugh if you do.
Yeah, or rip my head off. One of the two. Oh, she invited me to go hunting, which no.
Not a hunter?
I hunt secrets. That's my trade.
Fair, fair. It's a good trade.
Yeah, it's my form of currency. Hunting does not benefit me much.
As you get further into the woods, walking along the trail, talking, both of you roll me a wits and awareness, please.
Five.
Jester with 2. Jason, you pick it out almost immediately. Deep within the woods, positioned between two trees that are close together, a tulip-shaped bulb, almost as described by Jester when you were setting up this excursion. However, this bulb is much larger than any tulip. It's about the size of a fully grown pumpkin at this point. So it's about a foot in circumference around. And it's about 14 inches tall. Sits in between these two trees, about equal distance between both trees. There are leaves that sprout out of the base, just these kind of like almost like knife shaped or blade shaped leaves that stick out of the base of it, splayed out all around. But it's just one singular, again, tulip shaped bulb.
Stop real quick. That looks like the thing, right?
Yeah. It fits kind of the description.
That's huge.
Yeah, I looked out at the spray bottle. Wish I'd brought more.
As walking up, I'm gonna take a few pictures, just and then send them to Aspen and Lucas.
I'm gonna put on the aura shades.
Okay. Slipping on the aura shades, looking onto the umbral side of things, it looks similar, but on the other side, the shape of it, it looks like it's pulsing, almost like it's breathing on the other side. Like it's kind of like, yeah, it's pulsating. The best way to describe it is if it was getting ready to dry heave, or if it was in the process of dry heaving. That kind of like retching motion.
Careful, Jace. I think it might spew something out. it looks like it's getting ready to. From this side, it's pulsating, and it looks like it's gonna. It looks like it's gonna throw up.
I put his phone away,
Nope.
take a couple steps back, and then use penumbral senses.
What I will say is also on the other side, you can see on the trees around it, there are specks of what looks to be this yellowish kind of residue, as if it has spewed in the past several times up into the trees and the air around it and rained down on the ground all around, like it's exploded like a volcano a few times previously.
It looks like it has done it before. It looks like there's some sort of residue on the surrounding trees and area. Got kind of high.
Okay. Got 3 for the penumbral senses.
Okay, yeah, you see the same thing. It's kind of pulsing with this retching motion, and you can see this yellowish residue all around it. Now, the yellowish residue on the trees and the ground all around looks like it's actually kind of sticking or clinging to everything it's touched. It doesn't look like it's burned or done any damage, but it looks like it's clinging actively to whatever it's touched.
This is not what you saw last time. This is drastically different than what we saw beforehand.
This is a different plant.
Okay.
It's not even the same plant.
Should be able to be removed the same though, right?
Maybe. I'm going to try to walk around so I can get behind it, behind the actual bulb, so I can get a closer look of where it's actually buried or where it's growing out from.
Okay. It does have a radius around it of where you can see the yellow specks on the ground on the umbral side. Are you staying outside of that radius?
How big is the radius?
It looks like it's about 4 feet to either side, all around it in a radius.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop before I get into the radius first and try to see if I can. I'll take the aura shades off for now and try to see if I can see where it's growing from.
Yeah, there's just like a nice mound of dirt in between where the roots cross over from the 2 trees that it's positioned in between.
But it's not attached to the trees itself.
It's not attached to the trees, no.
It's going to be different. It looks like we're probably going to have to dig it up. But we're going to have to get in the radius of it.
Okay. You dig, I'll watch. Make sure everything's okay.
Fine. I'll pull out a mask from my bag or from my toolkit and put it on.
Okay.
I'm going to step closer and get in the radius of it.
Okay. As you enter into the radius, nothing seems to happen.
Cool. Going to kneel down and actually pull out a trowel and start digging around it, looking for how far the stem goes down to the roots and everything.
Okay. Give me let's go with dexterity and science.
Can I use environmentalism?
You sure can.
I'm actually going to use ancestors for science.
Okay.
I got 2 successes.
Okay. So calling upon your ancestral conviction, reaching out to the spirits beyond. You ask for guidance on this particular issue, on this particular task.
I'm gonna spend a willpower. I got 4 successes.
Okay. Getting your trowel underneath, looking at the root structure, it looks like the way the roots grew, these plants are specifically planted in between the roots of trees for a reason. Because the roots of these plants go outwards and hook themselves underneath the roots of trees, almost like anchors, so that they're a lot harder to remove, that they aren't easily just popped out. They have to be dug out from underneath the roots to get pulled out. They really do embed themselves underneath. So it is a process to dig them out. Now, since this one's been growing here for a while, you have to spend quite a bit of time digging underneath the plant and under the roots it's hooked itself in to get it out. You are able to do so effectively, but it's taking you some time. And during that time, the bulb pops open and spews outwards, sending a bunch of spores shooting up into the sky and raining down upon you. You can roll a dexterity and athletics to try and roll out of the way. However, you are going to be at a -1 dice because you are down on hands and knees trying to dig this root out, and you are not in a prone position to get out of a 4-foot radius very easily.
Am I seeing this happen?
Absolutely.
Okay. Am I able to run out there watching this happen, grab part of my jacket and try and cover her, leaving himself partly out of it, but try and cover her up with the exposed part of the jacket?
If you want to give her an assistance, yes, but I will say that you are going to get hit by it.
That's fine.
Okay. Now, if she still fails the roll, she also will get hit by it, but you are definitely getting hit by it, but you will give her the assistance.
Okay.
I should have covered the bulb with a trash bag, but it's fine.
Hindsight.
3 successes?
3 successes. Okay. So 3 successes is not quite enough to avoid it. You do both get hit by it. I need you both to make stamina and resolve checks for me.
I burn a will.
Yeah.
I'm also going to burn a will.
1.
Okay.
4.
Okay. Jace, I just want you to make a note on your sheet that just says pollen. As the pollen gets breathed in to your lungs, but doesn't seem to have any other effect. You cough a few times, but nothing else seems to happen. You don't notice any other side effects. Nothing happens. Jester, some of it hits your skin, but you're able to kind of brush it off. Doesn't seem to have any other effect.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it tastes kind
yeah.
of tangy, a little bit bitter on your tongue, but you're able to kind of huff it out.
Well, not the worst taste I've had, but not great. I'll be all right.
Okay.
Does it look like it's pulsating again, or does it look like it's kind of
So,
clogged?
as the bulb split open, you can see that there is like this almost like writhing tongue in the middle of it. and it is now starting to close up again. And as it closes up again, it's almost shrinks closed, and it's a lot smaller than it was, and it's starting to pulse again. And as it pulses, it's slowly starting to expand again, as if it's refilling up.
What is this?
I have no idea. This is. You know what? I will get a trash bag out and like cover the actual bulb with it as I'm gonna continue digging.
So it does take you a good 30 minutes to unroot this thing as you are digging out, trying not to damage the roots of the tree that it has hooked itself onto from beneath. You're really trying to get underneath, unhook it, trying not to just break off the roots of this plant. You really want to remove it effectively with all that environmental knowledge. You're trying to leave no traces of this plant behind, really effectively removing it. And you do so. You got enough high enough roll that you're able to remove all remnants of this plant and unearth it effectively from the ground, taking the remnants and putting it into the trash bag before sealing it off really well. Mission accomplished.
Well, good job, team.
That took you a bit, but yeah, good job.
I'll start moving some dirt around, kind of like covering where I had to dig so far. So I would like a shower before we go anywhere because this is gross. I don't know what it does. I don't really want to carry it around.
I understand. But it's gone, like you sure you got everything?
Yeah, it took a while, but it was hooked to the roots. So it was similar to the other plant, just it hooked to the roots, so it hooked underneath. Obviously, I think a lot of these plants are going to they're going to be difficult to
Okay.
remove. I think that seems to be the theme from what we've seen so far.
All right. Gonna walk over to where she pulled it out. Is it the same kind of thing from the last plant? Big hole.
Strangely enough, no. Where this has been dug out, there aren't any like grubs or dead, anything on the other side. Yeah, I mean, there's the hole obviously where it was dug out, but she put the dirt back in and it looks like it is filled back in. There's a lot of this yellow residue buildup at the bottom of the hole. It looks like the spores that it kind of has been blowing out collect at the bottom before they shoot up outwards of the plant itself. But it looks like when she unearthed it, it dumped whatever it had underneath it. But yeah, there is none of the like same kind of dissolving residue left behind.
I'm gonna agree with the whole different plant thing. This one didn't have the same effect on the earth like the last one did.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, no, shower would be great, and probably I don't have a neti pot, but I'll run my nose underneath the faucet and try and got some of it up in there.
Yeah. We could stop and okay.
So the two of you leave the park, heading home to shower and change and clean up. And about 2 hours later, we find ourselves at the biker bar where you have congregated before, meeting with the bikers that once worked with Ryder and now have become longtime allies and associates to the pack and now the Sept. As you arrive, it's not late enough yet that the bikers have really started to congregate. You're getting there pretty early in the evening that there are a few that have started to gather, but they haven't really started to show up in force yet. But as you arrive, you can hear some music playing inside. A couple of them are out in the parking lot congregating amongst the bikes. You can see a few of them inside. But as you come in, Sticky Ricky is doing his job as Sergeant at Arms, waiting by the door. Hey, Jester. How's it
Hey,
going?
Ricky.
Good to see you.
It's going great.
What can I do for you? You looking for Lucas? He's not in tonight.
No. You or Larry, Jace here. I'm trying to get him a good gun. And he's maybe looking for another ride. So
Oh,
might know some people could hook him up.
so this is a shopping trip.
I bet, yeah.
Well, I can help you with that. And he kind of wipes his nose on his arm. Yeah, let me see what we got in the back. Come on. He pushes
You
himself
okay?
up off his stool. Yeah, it's allergy season. You know how it be. It's spring. He
Yeah.
pulls up his back of his pants, which have started to fall beneath his crack, as he pulls them up and starts to walk towards the back room, heading into the garage in the back. As you head into the back room, he walks over towards one of the cages and undoes the lock that hangs from a chain, pulls open the cages. Bit of advice, maybe don't just ask for a gun by the front door. Maybe try using a keyword like a super soaker or something like that. Just, you never know who's listening, but I'm sure we're fine this
Fair.
time. What can I do you for? What are you looking for there, JC boy? What do you need?
Jay, something easily to conceal that I can walk around with. I don't need anything huge by any means. Just something small.
Something small. What are you looking for? Like a purse gun, like a Derringer, or you want something
No, not necessarily.
good? Because we
Anything
don't
that
have any of those. He's
not gonna be playing poker anytime soon.
well, yeah. I got something for you, and he starts looking through and reaches up into one of the hooks and pulls off. I got a basic 9mm here for you, and a couple of clips. If that'll work.
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
Perfect. Well, you know what? You're a friend of Jester here. Why don't we call it $200?
Done. He'll pull out his wallet, has a few bills in there. He pulls out 200s.
There you go. You let us know if you need any more ammo to go with that. You don't want to have to be going to any of the shops around here. It's a little bit harder to get hooked up with that kind of stuff without licenses and all that kind of stuff.
Fair. And if I end up losing it, I have no idea where I got it.
Damn straight. Although the numbers have been shaved off anyway, so it's going to be hard to trace that stuff back. What else you looking for? A bike, huh?
Well, I got that 48 panhead out there, but I need another one. I do a lot of riding around, and some of the overall company I keep, having multiple vehicles to drive around with, be on the road, it's gonna be harder to keep track of me if I have a few different ones.
Ah, I see. You don't want someone, getting to know your vehicle too well. Well,
Exactly.
we usually do custom jobs here, built from parts that fall off the back of trucks and stuff like that, but we can probably put something together if you got a design you like, or, if you want something custom made, although that's going to be a little bit more pricey. But what are you looking for? You want to work on something together that'll help lower the price.
Nah, I can help. I just a basic cruiser, nothing flashy, something that I can blend in. But we want to customize it and work together. I'm all right with that.
You know how to use a wrench?
Yes, I keep maintenance on my bike. I can use a wrench.
Okay. Well, if you're willing to at least pay for the parts, and we'll, cut out the labor if you come by the shop here, and, you and Lucas can work on the bike for a few days. And if you build it, we'll cut the labor out. You just pay for the parts and we'll call it good. How about that?
That works for me.
Perfect. Then, you just come by when you want to start building, and we'll go from there.
Okay. It was Ricky.
Yes, Ricky.
All right. I'll be stopping by. Probably sometime next week.
Perfect. Anything else, Jester?
Was Larry at the bar or was he not here yet?
Yeah, he's here. He was in the back,
Okay.
stocking.
Oh. Last time I was here, talked to him about some people causing some trouble on the streets. I wanted to let him know that particular group was taken care of, as well as a few other neighborhoods.
Right? You want to talk to him? You want me to go get him?
Yeah.
All right. Hang on. Why don't you come out front? I'll
Okay.
tell him you need a drink. Walks you back out to the bar area, pats a couple of stools before he turns around and heads back into the stock room. A moment later, Larry walks out. You can tell he's been sweating a little bit from stocking the back. He's got a rag over his shoulder. Oh, hey, Jester.
Hey,
What's up?
so what we were talking about last time with you know, particular groups on the streets.
Oh, yeah. How's that all going?
Oh, well, the big one was taken care of that we were talking about.
Which one?
we- House,
Oh,
yeah.
the right, the pit. Okay, that was you guys?
Yeah.
Nice. That's something.
Yeah.
Not gonna ask any questions, but how do you make a whole house fall? You know what? Never mind. That's
Okay.
something.
They had been messing with the foundation, period, and it was, easy. Some appropriate placed, equipment.
Shit
Just
happens.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'd been already messing with the foundation that like weakened the entire structure.
Got it. So sinkhole.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Well, that's good news. I'm glad to hear that you're having some success with all that. That makes me feel better. Honestly, it was getting really really bad in that particular neighborhood. When I read that in the news, I was hoping that was the case and it wasn't just them moving or covering up tracks or something like that.
No.
What else?
So we've been doing a few patrols and things and taking out a few in Ybor and North Tampa as well. But was wondering if you'd heard anything about any particular anyone standing out again more
Well,
than the others.
I did catch wind of. Yeah, I did catch wind of something. So there have been hikers going missing out in the woods out near one of the state parks. Actually, out really, really near out the outskirts of town, down near Brandon, where it's starting to get a little bit more, less populated out down there. Also, I've heard that some people have been going missing near the casino, the Hard Rock.
Okay.
Anyone of
Thanks.
note?
Who do we consider of note? If it was of note, the police would be all over it, but these aren't the
Okay.
kinds of people the police look into.
Just wanted to make sure like it was lower end kind of stuff. Don't want a bunch of people sniffing around.
No, this is the kind of stuff they don't investigate. If it was worth investigating, I wouldn't even bother you with it because that'd be the kind of stuff that draws attention. No, this is the kind of stuff that that they don't look into.
Yeah, thanks for the info. We'll check it out.
Let me know if there's anything we can do too. I mean, it's kind of hard just sitting here on our hands all the time.
We'll see. I mean, at least you have your ear to the ground more than we do sometimes, and that's a lot of help just knowing.
Yeah, I know. And it's probably way over our heads from the sounds of it, but I just don't like to see good people get hurt. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, one thing you could do is, help the communities afterwards.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, okay. Can I get you guys anything while you're here?
Yeah, I'll take a beer.
For sure. Gets around behind the bar.
IPA, easy on the head though.
Absolutely. Makes up the drinks and hands them to you. I gotta get back to stocking, but if you guys need anything else, just holler. I can hear you from back there.
Okay.
He heads to the back. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we move on?
Enjoying the company and the beer.
Yeah.
What's going through both of your minds after this day of plant extracting and talking with the bikers?
The plant's concerning. One plant that we knew, thought we understood like how to go about it, and now we have a different one that is reacting differently. How many other plants are going to be out there, and how much more difficult is each plant going to be as we move forward? And looking forward to building a bike and then having two of them and a little bit of getting closer to understanding of why there's such a connection with the bikers.
Jester.
Also concerned about the plants. I knew from the forums that it seemed like some of the descriptions were different from what we'd seen, so I had already started to suspect that there were like different types of plants, but the way they're digging in, and we don't still know like what effect it has on the environment itself, especially this one where we couldn't even see like any sort of rot or anything that it had done. It's a little concerning on what's going to happen. Also thinking about the two places Larry spoke of. Um, looks like Charles and I have more work to do on hunting leeches.
Okay. We move on now to our final scene of the evening. Aspen. The last thing you remember, you were climbing in your car to go meet with Charles. You'd received a text saying, "Do you trust me?" And you had responded, "You've given me no reason so far not to." To which you'd received, "Okay." And then everything kind of went dark and fuzzy. When you come to, you're sitting in a comfortable armchair, but you're in a room that's dark except for a single light that's hanging overhead. The periphery of the room is completely black. Your head is throbbing for just a moment, but it quickly passes. And then you hear the familiar clicking of fancy shoes walking on concrete. I apologize for the theatrics.
Bit dramatic, don't you think?
Yes. But I think that considering the situation, a little bit of drama was appropriate. We need to have a conversation, Miss Weiss.
Okay. Do you want to turn lights on and be normal, maybe?
I'm going to ask you to trust me again.
Okay, but does nobody know how to have a conversation anymore? Is this what we've come to? Nobody talks about anything? We just kidnap each other and go to places without telling each other and just cause a bunch of problems? Is that what we're doing now?
If it goes well, this will be the last time. I promise. You have been the greatest leader I've had the opportunity of following. That is why it was so easy to swear my loyalty to you. That is why I made the decision to go against everything I was taught, everything I had learned. That is why I stood up to my uncle and the nation. That is why I allowed myself to be vulnerable and fall in love. But in doing so, I've made a grave error. Because I've allowed you to change. I've allowed us to switch places.
Charles, we had a deal.
I was wrong to make that deal, Aspen. What
were
made
wrong.
you a great leader was your ability to feel. And you have not felt. I am not questioning your decisions these past few weeks. You have done what is right. You have led well. But your ability to continue leading into the future you see what's happening. You see the challenges that are in front of you. I wasn't right, Aspen. Because if I was, I shouldn't have joined you. I shouldn't have allowed any of this to happen.
It's a lot easier to lead when you're not feeling.
No, it's not. Actually, it is easier. You're right. For now. In the short term. But it always catches up with you. And what you're putting off now, what you will continue to put off, will add up. Because it won't just be Aiden. One day it will be Eliza and Jester and Lucas. How many will it take? I was wrong, Aspen. And only now can I see it. Only now can I feel it.
That's the point, Charles. Gotta get better at it. Because eventually that will happen.
This isn't you. This isn't what this nation needs.
What does it even need, really?
It needs Aspen Weiss, not Charles. It needs a leader of compassion and caring. A leader who doesn't want to lose a single person and feels every single loss. A guru who doesn't see soldiers.
What has compassion done so far, Charles? Yeah, Jester's better now, but what'd it do for her? What'd it do for Lucas? What did it do for Aiden?
You gave Lucas a home. You allowed Jester the ability to love again when she thought she couldn't. And Aiden? You gave him purpose. And you gave him a life worth living and a life worth dying for.
And now what? Pretend to be happy? Pretend like it's all fine until something else happens?
No, that's what you've been doing. Now you hurt. Now you mourn. And now you move on. When the hurting is through. And I will hurt with you. We will hurt together.
Rubit, you haven't talked about Aiden either.
You're right. Aiden told me. And made me promise not to tell anyone. He made me promise to take up his place. I thought it was folly. I didn't believe in spirits telling the future. I believed we'd choose our own destinies. But an oath between a rune is sacred. And he deserved that much. A part of me regrets taking that oath. A part of me regrets allowing things to unfold the way they did. Part of me wishes it was me instead of him. Because of what it's done to you, because of what it's done to Jester, because of what it's done to this Cairn and this sept.
How am I any use to them like this?
Because you won't be like this forever.
But what if me being like this means that everything falls apart?
It won't. Because you'll realize it doesn't take one to lead. You are part of a pack, and we all lead. When one is weak, the others take up the slack. I won't let you fail. I won't let you fall. Neither will Jester. Neither will Jason. And
Charles,
believe it or
being
not,
weak is what got me into this place in the first place. This is what got me here. I can't be weak.
you're not weak.
If I'm weak, they die.
If you don't feel, they die. If you aren't leading with your heart, they die. And they will die faster. Lucas is rebelling against you. Artie is gone. Doing who knows what. Is that what your heart wants?
No. My heart is not done so well for me.
Neither has your head.
Well, it looks like I'm screwed on two fronts, huh?
Your heart did better than your head. Aiden chose his fate to save you because he knew you needed to be here to lead. We need you here to lead, to feel. That's who I chose to follow. That's who I swore my loyalty to. That's who Aiden died for.
The runes. Oath is their word, right? You said?
Yes.
Then I'll try. I will give it everything I got. But if I can't, if it doesn't change anything, then you take over. because I'm not sure if I want it anymore.
We just have to make sure you want it. Because we need you to. We can't do this without you. It's not Matthias that makes this new nation possible.
Promise me.
I'm going to hold you to this, that you are going to try. And I mean truly try.
Yeah. I mean, they do call me Oathbreaker, but I don't plan on breaking any more of those.
Well, I did break an oath of my own by assaulting you.
Yeah, you kind of broke the litany, but it's okay.
It takes one to know one.
Exactly. Who am I to talk?
I promise. I'm here for you. And I understand you better than you know. I have held this appearance for a lot longer than I probably should have.
And all it took was for Jester to get her claws in you. She has that effect on people.
You had a part in that too. Trust your feelings, trust your heart. We all do. Aiden did, up until the end.
I'll try. And you be good to my girl, because I swear, I know I'm not as strong as you, but I will give you everything that I got.
No harm will come to her.
Okay. I'll try.
Now I'm going to drive you home. No chloroform needed.
That'd be nice. That kind of gives me a headache, and the crying doesn't help. And it just. Did you bring any tissues in this dungeon, or am I just gonna go?
Yes, of course. Don't be afraid of leadership. Don't be afraid of feelings. It's unfamiliar to me, but having started to experiment and understand it, I wish I'd had it the whole time. I missed out on a lot.
Any advice on how to start?
Take the bad with the good. It's all part of it. Because the numbness is very lonely.
You said you knew, right?
Yes.
So he knew. Exactly.
Yes. He chose a regular life with you for his last days. That's admirable.
Yeah, that's always been his, right? I miss him a lot.
Me too. As do the others. All of them. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a handkerchief and passes it to you.
Wow, that's such a grandpa move. Okay. Handkerchief. That's okay. It's fine. I'm deflecting because I'm sad, but it's fine.
We will get through this together. All of us. And we'll be stronger for it. This is home now for all of us. This is our family now. We need each other. We need you.
We'll work on it. I think I have to have some conversations. Uncomfortable ones, but I guess that's a start.
I serve at the pleasure of my pack leader.
Thank you.
He walks over and offers a hand to help you up.
She'll stand up. Is it weird if we hug? Like, is that a weird thing?
No, I've been told I'm getting better at it.
Good. Okay, more practice then. And she'll lean in and give him a hug.
His hug isn't as rigid as it has been. It's not perfect yet, but it's definitely less rigid. Let's take you home.
Yeah, because now that that's over, I gotta tell you about my day. It was crazy, and that was even before the chloroform. Let's go.
I have to tell you what I've done to the other pack.
All right. Looks like we have a lot to talk about.
Yes. As you drive home, what's going through your mind after this conversation with Charles?
Charles is the biggest pain in my ass, but the best all at the same time. He's always like done what needs to be done and has put her in her place far more times than I could probably count. But I think in her brain she finally cracked, and it needed to happen because going on the path she was going to was destructive. And she's starting to see that. And now she has to have conversations and try and fix it the best she can, while also trying to feel the feelings, I guess. That's the hardest part, is working on feeling the feelings.
And this is where our story comes to a close. They say in scripture that the walls of Jericho came crumbling down when the Israelites shouted at the walls. Aspen's walls started to come crumbling down with just a few conversations. No shouting required. Our story couldn't end, however, without one last scene. This scene, however, takes place in Jason Dreams-In-Decay's dreams. Jason, your dream starts beside a babbling brook. There are birds chirping overhead. The trees grow tall. The grass is full and green. Everything is tranquil and peaceful. There is no decay to be had. Everything is right in the world. Everything is peaceful. Because the wild knows best. And this is where our story comes to a close this evening. Thank you so much to everybody watching at home. Go follow St. Pete by Night on all of the social media down below. And if you like what you see here, come join our community at that Discord link. You could be talking about World of Darkness as well as a variety of other amazing topics with our community of 200 plus members. You could be one of them, so follow that Discord link. Stay tuned to all of the amazing program we have here on St. Pete by Night. This Friday, we have Hellhounds over on YouTube. Go see what that new pack of vagabonds is up to. Rumor has it they're trapped on a boat in the middle of the Gulf about to fight 5 starving vampires after their warder decided he's had enough of their shit and it's test time. So now, let's see what they've learned and if they are capable of handling the threat of vampires themselves. So tune in to YouTube live on Friday at 7 p.m. to see who survives and who dies and who makes it off the ship alive. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Good night.
This has been a St. Petersburg by Night production. Rage Across Tampa is produced in agreement with the World of Darkness and Dark Pack. The storyteller for Rage Across Tampa is Kent. Tonight's characters were voiced by Preston, Champ, Noree, and Weiss. Visit our website at stpetebynight.com for more information about all of our productions and how you can become part of our community. Thank you for listening. Until next time, fangs, stakes, and claws out.